Here I'm going to show you our OneView platform. It makes it very easy for MSPs to easily manage their customers, see everything going on daily with them, um, and really gives you different options on different add-ins we have, such as vulnerability patch management, DNS filtering, application block, to name a few of them. So this first screen, when you log in, we're going to kind of give you a kind of what's going on with your customer base. So you're going to see, this active detections one site. So what this one site, in our world, site equals customer, customer equals site, because we can sell this, or you can sell this in a couple different ways. You can sell it as an MSP, you can sell it, but it can also be sold directly to maybe large organizations that need to segment out their license structure a different way. So here you can see active detections, restart required. We have a suspicious activity. In our world, a suspicious activity equals an EDR event. So you can see, you can click on these, it'll take you to the suspicious activity. But really what you can do is you can filter down. Maybe I only want to see within this OneView console only everything to do with this one customer. In this case, it was called Bread and Butter Bakery. So anything I choose, I only will see what pertains to this one customer. So even if I go here and I come over to maybe manage endpoints, I'm only seeing this one customer. But by default, it's going to be set to all sites. And just remember, anything I'm speaking about, such as different add-ons, such as I talked about a moment ago, DNS filtering, maybe managed detection response, maybe vulnerability or vulnerability and patch management. It all is handled under one agent. So that one agent has all of the components within it. So maybe right now your customers only want EDR, but later on, hey, I want to do vulnerability and patch management. It is already built into that agent. Nothing you'll have to do on your side, which makes it very easy. No worrying about uninstalling, reinstalling, or installing a new agent or anything like that. It's done automatically for you. That agent gets updated maybe about once every 6 weeks. So the way we do our agent updates, it's slowly, we call it ring deployment. We slowly release it out to different rings of customers. So, and it takes about 6 weeks to finish that ring deployment to where at the end of it, there'll be the start of probably a new update to that agent, which will go back 6 weeks, to the customers that we first did and slowly do that ring deployment. And then also in the back end is also, I call it a threat detection database. People call it different things. That can get updated many, many, many times a day. And really what that is to do our real-time protection. So if somebody opens a file, we already know about, if something is wrong, because that threat detection database is constantly being updated. Open a bad file, automatically get detected, automatically quarantined. So that's all done for you. So here you see, hey, agent update available. That may be the agent, maybe it's not even online. Maybe it's one of these that hasn't been seen in 7 days, and there's an agent update available. Or maybe within the policy, because we have policies that are on every agent, associated with every endpoint. Maybe that policy, for whatever reason, you have a group of them that you turned off updates. So really what you need to do is go in there and do a manual update for that. But by default, we have it updating automatically. So here you can see different things, in this dashboard. Pretty much everything, if I haven't said it before, pretty much everything here that you're going to see, such as in this endpoint area, most of these I can see, you're going to get notified of. We do notifications via email, we do them via Slack, we do them via Teams, or you can do it for all three if you really want to make sure you're not going to miss something. So you're getting multiple emails about a problem. So here you're going to say, hey, endpoints with most vulnerabilities. Our vulnerability add-on will scan devices for at their third-party software, as well as on Windows for their OS, and lets you know, hey, this particular Sophia computer at the top has 1,722 CVEs, or common vulnerabilities and exposures. Maybe you need to get that updated. It's just calling out that a particular piece of software has a security problem, and you need to look at it to make sure you're patching, you're updating it, you're keeping an eye on it, because it tends to be, 0-day attacks. I think it's like 95% of 0-day attacks are because of vulnerabilities either with the OS or with third-party software. So keeping that up to date really gets your security posture much higher than just letting these go. And then when I mentioned patching, we do have a patch management that goes along with vulnerability. So you can use our patching solution to where we're going, and I'm going to talk about it in a second, to where you can say, hey, go ahead and patch this device. We're going to tell that device to reach out to, let's say, for example, Google, download and install that, update that. We can also do Windows OS patching as well. So here you can see, different protection states, different detections, agents by version. You can see here, hey, we have multiple different agents on here in different versions. So this could be that, these guys are offline. And in this, you're also going to see, hey, we support mobile as well. So we do iOS, we can do Android, and we can do Chrome. So it's letting you know, hey, there's letting you know the agent version of that, even with Linux, letting you know the version of that. So here are the vulnerable apps. As always, Chrome generally is always the top one because there seems to be an update probably almost every day with that. But you can see there's Safari, so that's an Apple Safari. You can see a vulnerability there. Top 10 endpoints with detections. Not showing a lot right here, but this is a very good way to pinpoint at a customer site who is the main culprit. No matter how many times I talk to MSPs, almost all of them say their customers. There's always a select few of those customers that are doing probably 95% of the detections. And this is really to call them out so you can possibly, suggest to that customer, hey, we have security training. Why don't we do some security training? Well, why don't we talk to this later, bring her into a session to really describe what you should be doing and not being click happy and things like that. So how we get here? Well, I'm going to show you kind of, we're going to set up a site, and I'll cover this all right here in 1 second, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to create that new customer. I'll give this customer a name. I'm going to call it XYZ Core. Give it a site contact. I'll put myself in here, or at least part of my name, because I think I'm already in there. Give myself an email. Do this. I can choose to assign users. So what we can do is we can assign global administrators that can manage everything within our OneView platform. We can assign site administrators. So if you're an MSP and you have, I don't know, team A and team B, you can assign, sites, customer names from A to L or A to K for a particular site administrator, so they can only administer their sites and then do the following, L through Z to another group of people. We also have a customer administrator site. So if you, and it is kind of rare in the MSP world for myself, but if you have a co-management agreement with a customer, you can have them only administer their own instance. And then we have a read-only for people that just want to see what's going on. Set a site contract end date. This is really purely for reporting purposes. It does not mean that as of June 25th, 25, that, all of a sudden all their protections are going to turn off. It's really, I see a lot of customers using our MSPs using this to run reports. So they can say, hey, I have this particular customer, their main, we sign a contract, as in the MSP sign a contract with that customer for a year. And then just looking at this, hey, I got 6 months left. They promised 100 endpoints to be protected. I only have 50 protected. Do some of that customer success so you can gain, the other 50 that they had promised you. Press next. We do usage billing. So what that means is if an endpoint's been online at any point in time of the month, you'll get charged for that, where in turn then you can charge the customer for that. We do offer or give you the ability to issue trials to opportunities. So if you have new ones you're trying to gain, you're trying to displace other vendors, things like that, you can offer 15-day, 30-day trial to let our software run on that. So you can do that right from here. And then we're going to give you some not for resale, so you can do testing internally at your company. You can use this for demos so you can do your own demos to people. Set the protection level. EDR is probably the mainstay. It's pretty much what everybody's doing, endpoint detection and response. But you can do endpoint protection, which is, that next gen AV. You can do incident response, which is, where we go in there and maybe another product is already on there doing it and they catch some things, and you want to run our scan to make sure that they cleaned it up properly, and we can go in there and continue to clean it up. License allocation. In the usage-based world, this doesn't really mean anything, because as new endpoints come online, you'll be charged for it, or they'll be done automatically. There's no upper limit on that. But what I'll see a lot of customers do is they might put in here, hey, this customer promised me 100 endpoints. I gave them a great price discount because they're doing so many different, they're doing a large amount of endpoints, whether it be 100, 1,000, 10,000, whatever it may be. And then when you run reports or you go in and look at this, you can see, hey, they promised me 100 and they only have 50. Well, I gave them a discount because of that 100, so it's something in your mind. You can still do that customer success, and things like that to try to get those other on there. Press next. This is where you can set up, and pretty much everything I'm showing you within this setup, you can go back later, edit the subscription, and add it at any time. So let's say right now, like I'm looking right now, manage detection response. Right now you have them all on EDR, you have a customer on EDR, and you really want to get them on that managed side. So our team is taking care of it. So if there is an EDR event, or in our world, a suspicious activity event, all of that telemetry, all of the information is going to our EDR team. Our EDR team will take care of that. Our MDR team will take care of that 24/7. We have teams located in the United States, Italy, Portugal, and possibly Australia. I'm not sure on that last one, but they're going to take care of everything. So you can set that up here by choosing this, filling out some information. And then we do have managed threat hunting. To what this will be, I kind of say this is kind of dipping your toes in the managed world. And so what this means is our team's still going to get all the alerts, but then we're going to send you an email or a notification saying, hey, this is what we see. This is what it's going to do, and here are the steps you can take to remediate and protect that environment. So it's your team being kind of like given cliff notes on what to do your own EDR remediation. Press next. This is where you can add on the add-ons. Maybe a customer you want to always sell vulnerability assessment. I mean, if you don't have another product doing it, this is a great chance to really come in and make sure those uh, software OSs are all patched correctly. Turn that on, and we're licensed. So that's what vulnerability assessment is. When you add in the patch management, like I talked to before, this is where you can patch those vulnerabilities, where you can patch those OSs. Then we also have DNS filtering. What DNS filtering does is you can do content categories such as, you don't want the user on the browser level, don't want them to go to gambling sites, SIPA, maybe you have SIPA requirements, Child Internet Protection Act. You have those requirements to stop kids from going to bad places. You can actually block IP addresses on your own. You could just block particular websites, such as maybe you don't want to block all gambling, or maybe you're going to block all gambling sites. But we can also do one-off saying, hey, but allow this, allow our gambling site for people in my company to use. We can stop people going to crypto mining sites, different things like that you can do. Then we have application block. And so what this does is if you have a customer that doesn't want their users to go to a particular application, sometimes I see it, they don't want their users to use Chrome. They want to use Edge because maybe they have an internal program or an internal process that only works on Edge. You can put blocks on Chrome, so they try to launch it, it'll come up and say, hey, this application has been blocked. Please see your administrator type of thing. Press next. This goes over what we just did. So we set up a company called XYZ. All of those endpoints are going to go in a particular group called XYZ. So it's going to be the parent is XYZ is the main group it's going to go in. You can always create new groups. A lot of people, what they do with groups, you can create groups, put different policies on the groups. So let's say maybe the admin department has a lot more stringent security rules than the IT department. So you could segment it out that way. We're going to set up schedules for you. So based on what you picked on the previous screens, we'll set up schedules for you. And so this can also be massaged within our scheduling area under configure to where maybe you want to change the times or you want to add more schedules or things like that. You can do that. And then when you're going to set what the default policy is for everybody. Excuse me. So what this means is our policy holds quite a few different things. Not only does it hold, maybe you don't want your users to be able to run threat scans. Maybe you don't want the users to see that there was a detection and a quarantine. You want to, hide that there was a detection because, you know how customers or employees are. Once they see a detection, they stop work for the day. So you can hide that. It also holds maybe tamper protection passwords. to where you need a password to uninstall us, you need a password to stop processes, you need a password to stop services. And then it holds things for our EDR. Our EDR includes ransomware rollback. So what that means is, as a ransomware, as we see a ransomware behavior happening, we'll make a right on time backup of the files that's being changed, store them locally on the device, encrypt them, obfuscate them so they can't be tampered with. And then so you can set the rollback limitations, such as, hey, I only allow 5 days to roll back or 7 days. And what that means is, after that 7 days, that backup on that endpoint will be deleted, but we'll give you up to 7 days. Our backups for workstations, you can back up per file, 100 megs per file on the workstation, a gig on the servers. Really, only limitation we have is that you can set up free space. Hey, I only want to use backups for 80% of free space. So once you hit that 80% threshold, then we're going to stop doing backups. And, I always stress to people, our backup solution, our ransomware rollback is not a replacement for a good backup solution. So just keep that in mind. Press save. The customer is being created. Take a few seconds here. We're going to show you an overview of what was done. You can see here, hey, what's what done? Hey, licenses are going to sell them 100 of them. So this is, and that's all 100 of the EDR part. You close this out, and then you'll have the download center. So once you get to the download center, you can choose that XYZ Corp. This is where I will have the MSIs for Windows. You can do link sharing as well. You can use your own RMM to push things out. So what that means is XYZ Corp here, you can choose the XYZ Corp. We're going to give you the commands that we're going to need, to have this done. And then we also have a discovery and deployment tool to where, we're going to, you run this tool, put it on the USB, run it. It's going to sniff out the environment, let you know to be able to push our software on those endpoints. Once the endpoints are installed, that's when under manage sites, that's where this all pops up. So you can see here, this is site score here. You can click on this site. We're going to let you know, hey, according to what this customer has purchased, we're going to let you know how well we think you're protected. So under EDR, I mean, out of the box, our policies are set for 100% protection. So out of the box, showing 95% on the EDR side, which is very good. But you can click on here and say, here's what we did to come up with that score, where for you to look at, as well as detection scans. Maybe people haven't reported detection scans. Maybe detection scans have been missed. You can click that also, take you to the detection scans and let you know that. So we're going to take all of this information and create a score for you. Just so in a quick little snapshot, you can see how well protected they are and the areas you might want to look at. Let's come over to the manage endpoints. So here, manage endpoints. This is where you're going to see all the endpoints from all your device, all your customers. You can always filter, like I said, up here by all sites. So you can see here different information. These can be moved and added. Columns can be added, removed. I'll give you an idea by just a quick glance. Hey, this bread 1 W11 new, it needs a scan needed. Hasn't been seen in 7 days. There's a new agent available for it. So, you can get information like that. You can pop in. I'll pop into a different one. Let's pop into this one. Go to more details. You can see information about the device. You can see our agent and the version and the add-ins to the agent. So what these are here is, depending on what features you have chosen, we'll have add-ins automatically added. Nothing you need to do. It'll just be done. And this really, you're focusing in on this one particular endpoint. You're going to be able to see whatever active detections were, quarantine detections, just for this endpoint. There's a better section. This is really narrowing down on endpoints. So there's another section that makes it so you can see everything at once. You can see all the vulnerabilities. So here's vulnerabilities available. There's some vulnerabilities here. What software is installed on this? You can see all the different software, the versions and things like that is installed. But really, for the detection, so here's all your endpoints, the active, the inactive. Some things might not show available, but really for that detections, you can come in here, look at the detection area. Hey, here's some active detections. What this really means is we turned off real-time protection, and so this is just showing what's actively going on right now. Quarantine detections, what's been quarantined. Hey, I can pop this open. You can take a look of what it was. You can see MD5 hashes. You can click on these hashes. It'll take you out to um, VirusTotal to show you, hey, what do other vendors think of this? So we're going to give you that information. Coming back in, this is where you can see, the detection history, how it went. But let's say this is a false positive. You have a customer call, hey, my main piece of software is not working. Right? False positives happen to every company out there. You're probably going to get them, but this is an easy way for you to take care of them. You can just come in here, hit restore and create exclusion, press next. This is where we're going to create that exclusion for you. You can apply it to globally all endpoints. You can apply it to particular sites or particular policies. Press validate. This is where the exclusion is going to be created. We're going to take those quarantine files, put them back in the proper location so that software can be used again, and away you go. And then we also have a detection log, which gets into other things. So one of the main things to get to is our real-time protection, our web protections kicking in. So this is out of the box. This isn't part of the DNS filtering that I talked to before. So what this is, somebody tried to go out to a particular site that we blocked because it had blocked by real-time protection, trying to go out to site to use a particular process, PicoTorrent, showing the blocks on it. We're going to do that for you. Our researchers, sites that or services that we subscribe to all feed into this to do it. But this again, it could maybe a customer is using this site. Maybe they go out to this IP address all the time. They're using it for a particular program. If you need to, you can create a false positive request. We're not going to let you create an exclusion particular for it, but we're going to do a request. And so you fill this information out, you press submit, it goes to our researchers, they go in and they double check, they run it and look at it again to let you know, hey, yeah, you were right, we shouldn't be blocking this anymore, we'll let this go on through. Or they're going to come back and say, no, this is really still housing malware or Trojans or something like that. Talk to your customer about it. So that really gets into the EP, the endpoint protection side I showed you, the detection, the automatic quarantine. Now, when we get into suspicious activity, anything I show you under here, it's kind of looking a little light on what we have right here, right now. But anything under here, if you wanted to use our managed team, this is everything that they take care of. And so what this means is they will get all the telemetry on this. So they'll start doing the threat hunting. I think they get all the information within 10 minutes. Then it's pushed out to the teams. They start working on it. They may call you if needed or call the contact associated with the managed account to talk to you about it. So they'll start working on the threat hunting, remediation, different things. I can do all the investigation for you. They'll even go in and they can do what we call isolate. We can isolate endpoints. So they can do it for you. So what that means is they'll go in there. You'll go when you sign up for the service. There's going to be an option to say, "Hey, let them isolate." We're going to take it off the network. We're going to kick the users off. We're going to, isolate the processes, so we can stop any movement outside of the device. So the environment doesn't the entire environment doesn't get compromised. Without that, this is where you would come in and do the things your own. Within our policy, you'll be able to set up isolation. So we do have automatic isolation within a policy that you can set up. It's set for critical events. So that's really the ransomware events or really bad malware that's out there that is classified as critical. So I'll open this up and I'll show you that and talk to you. So we can do the same thing, network isolation process and user. So you open it up and just real quick, critical severity, really this one's only a high. So it's not going to do the automatic block for you. So what we do here is, we're going to let you know what we think. So the EDR event was kicked off because of different behavior that we're seeing. So really then we put it back into kind of we try to make it easy as possible for you to figure this out on your own. So we're going to let you know, hey, trying to establish resources. We always give you a link back to the MITRE attack tactics mapping. And so here's where we're going to let you know, hey, trying to do resource development, and here's the different tactics with that attack for MITRE. So we're going to lay that out for you. Whoops. Trying to avoid being detected. Hey, what caused this? How many behaviors or instances were spawned off of this? When did this happen and by what user? Here you can see resource development. We uploaded it to our sandbox automatically. Give you even more information down here to help you determine if this is good or bad. Defense packaging. We can even click, hey, here's that sandbox where we pushed up. Give you a little bit of context of how we did it. Software packing, give you a little bit of context on that so you can really look into it and say, hey, was this a good thing or a bad thing? You can click into these processes. This one's not a good one, but this one here is, give you more information to the path. You can do that virus total again. And then what you can do is after you do all your information, you can then come up, remediate it, press remediation. If this was ransomware, this is where when you do a remediation, we do the automatic rollback for you. And so we remediate it, we clean it up, we take those backed up files, put them back into the proper location so the device is able to use it again. And real quick, let me talk about a couple of the add-ons we have. So one of them we have is application block. So this is where you can set up rules about application blocking to where you can set up a rule, say, hey, I'll just set up one, I'll show you real quick. Give it a rule name. I'm going to do it XYZ. Apply the rule to global endpoints, policy, or just a particular site. Rule type. Let's do it by application. So here's where you can pick particular applications that you want to do the block on. Or maybe you want to do vendor. So you can choose a particular vendor, A/B team. And then if need be, you can do advanced rules to where what we can do is you can do by certificate path, property, file path, file property, to where it is launched, and then it'll be a block rule set up. It'll be shown on the screen, hey, this is application blocked by, this application such as Adobe has been blocked, please contact your administrator. And those settings are set up here to where application blocked, you can put the block message content here. Another add-on is DNS filtering. So DNS filtering, we're going to show you any activity going on with your current blocks. Hey, these are top allowed categories. Top allowed domains will show blocked as well. And this is where you can set up a rule. Hey, press plus, DNS rule, let's call it XYZ again. Set up global all sites, and it'll be attached to a particular policy. Press next. This is where you can set up, hey, do I want to block by a domain? I can put Facebook only. Do you want to do top level domains, .coms? Hey, I want to block everything from a .com. Resolved IP addresses. Security categories to where new domains, newly seen domains, anonymizers, things like that. Or you can get into content categories to where, hey, I want to block different content. I want to block ads, adult themes, different things like that. And get those blocked. Once those are applied, and then you can get an allow list. So here's where I can allow a particular domain or resolved IP address to come through. So I want to block everything but this and allow that come through. Do a next, you have a review, save the rule, and then it'll be processed and you'll be able to have a block page assigned to it to where it's going to pop up and say, hey, this site's been blocked by Malwarebytes, please contact them, and we'll go from there. So now let's go on through and look at a couple other things. Let me just find those real quick. Let's look at a little bit of firewall management. Out of the box, we allow you to do firewall management. And so what we can do is you can set up, so what we're going to do, it's Windows firewall. You can manage Windows firewalls from here. You can set up firewall policies, you can set firewall rules up, and then so on those endpoints, we can manage the Windows firewall if you're using that, or you'd like to use it. And then the last is a couple different things. Let's look at vulnerabilities. Monitor vulnerabilities. So this is looking at all the vulnerabilities of all the software installed of all your customers, all the vulnerabilities on them. We classify them out, ransomware or ransomware risk. CISA recommended, this is NIST, so they're recommending these as well. And then you have critical, high, all the way down. Generally, most customers I go into, there's going to have quite a few, so they start working on their way from the most critical on down. But it's just 2 ransomware risks. So these are ones that are classified as a ransomware risk. Let's just pop one of these open. So in this case, it was Microsoft Office. There's a some remote code execution vulnerability. Here are the references to it, the remediation that needs to be done, and then a list of the devices this is affecting. If you had our patch management, so this is where that vulnerability and patch management comes in, this is when you can choose these manually and do it. Hey, let's update software. We're going to say, you know, this particular endpoint, you know, go to Microsoft, download and install the new version so you can remediate that vulnerability. The updating of OSs you can do scheduled as well, and you can set criticalities on that, as well as if I wanted to come in and look at, let's look at all the critical ones. These ransomware risks look like they're all Microsoft, but let's look at these. Let's open up. I want to do high. There's a lot more to choose from. So I'm just going to pick one in here. Let's look at this guy right here. So this one here is a Google Chrome. There's always Google Chromes, there seems to be. Here's the description of what it is, the remediation that needs to be done, and references to that. And this is where you can come in and update software on those as well. Updating software themselves is part of patch management. And so what that means is here are OS patches that are available. So you can just see those. Hey, and it could be a number. It doesn't even have to have a CVE associated with it. We're going to allow you to update um, the Windows operating system with the patches from here. This is schedulable. And then as well as if you want to do software updates, you can see here are all the updates available for these. And these are schedulable as well. So you can do them manually or you can schedule them. And it doesn't mean that there's a CVE always attached to it. You can see the CVE count over here, and you can go on down and see, hey, some of them have one, but if there's no CVE attached to it, we can just do an update for it. So I hope, one last thing, let me just show you. So when you have the MDR, the managed detection and response, we're also going to give you a different area, to talk and look at different cases going on. So right now I only have one case available. I can go into the cases. So this is what our managed team has been looking at. And then I can pop open this case and see, and see what they've been doing with it. A lot of this is information that probably won't really make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but this is what we're gathering, what our managed team is gathering. But what you can really do on a lot of this, you can see this one's been closed. You can even, there's a chat feature in here. You can even comment. You can even talk back to our MDR team if you have questions. Hey, what was this? Are you working on this? What's the end goal on, or what's going on? So you can see that from here. So we do give you a managed side to see, and really to help see how well this service is using, how well it is for your customers. And then two other things I always like to point out: send feedback. Send feedback. So we live off of send feedback, really. We want to know what we're doing great. We want to know what we're doing horrible. We want to know what you'd like to see added or what you'd like to see removed. This goes to a Slack channel within the company. It comes to a ton of people, all the way up to the CEO, so product management, engineers, development. They're all seeing this, and we're always commenting on when these come through. Hey, this looks great. Let's look into this more. Hey, somebody contact this customer because they have this feedback when in fact, this is actually part of the product already. Let's call them and show them where it's at. So we take this very seriously. And another place to look is the contact us area. This is where you're going to get your sales and support number. You'll have a PIN for it. We're always going to show you your account manager. So if there is a problem or you need to reach out to them, we always provide you information in case you forgot of who is the one that's going to take care of it. And then we always give you a link to, under Support Center, a link to our knowledge base or our help articles, our tutorials, and things like that. Well, I hope that helped everybody. You all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.